Oh, okay, I love that it looks like the... I freaking love that it looks like the opening. I love that, because it's like everything has led to this moment since the very beginning, 12 weeks ago. I love that. Really cool. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The finale of Season 1 of the 1000-Year Blood War arc anime, titled Episode 13, The Blade Is Me. What a perfect place to potentially end this first batch of episodes. I am very excited. While I did really enjoy Episode 12, Everything But the Rain, June Truth, and technically the first half of this supposed hour-long finale special, I won't lie. This is the one I was really looking forward to. I can't wait to see if they can deliver on this special batch of chapters. I can't wait to see where they choose to end things off. On a personal level, I'm really hoping we get to see at least some of the Sternritter again, although of course the wait to see them hasn't been anywhere near as long as it was in the source material, but that's what I am really hopeful for. But regardless of any of that, I just can't wait to see if they can stick the landing and pull off the ending of this first season to a degree of success. I'm very hopeful, because so far the 1000-Year Blood War arc anime has been something truly special, and I think we can all agree on that. So, without further ado, we may as well get straight into this. No sooner than I had finished my live reaction for episode 12 did episode 13 come out, so we are rolling straight from one into the other here. So, let's get on with this thing. As always, we'll be watching this episode from the perspective of someone who has read the entirety of the 1000-Year Blood War arc before, so there is potential here for spoilers for the entirety of the arc to come. And, as I mentioned in the last video, there will be separate reviews coming up for episodes 12 and then 13 to follow. And then following that will be a full, comprehensive review of the entire first season of this new anime. So, make sure to hit subscribe if you haven't done already, and let's get straight into this thing. The final episode of this first season of the 1000-Year Blood War, The Blade Is Me. Here we go. I am very excited for this. Nervous as well, but I am really excited. So as I mentioned, of course, at the end of last episode, they did cut the big cliffhanger. The big cliffhanger ending of 537 was removed. If that is totally gone, I just want to say I did call it. And I have been saying it for the last few weeks as well. They might get rid of that moment to do a 2-in-1 reveal at the end of this week's episode for chapter 543. And so far it is looking like it is totally removed. Ichigo is now back with Uryu'S. Man, I can't believe we're here. I can't believe it's the end. Of course, only the end of season 1 of 4, but, you know, still, it's emotional. The Asauchi are very creepy, aren't they? I mean, it's so awesome when they all bow to Ichigo. He knows now who he is, and it's like they all want to be selected almost. Really, really cool. He has almost like total mastery of his internal conflict, essentially. He now knows exactly where his powers come from and what makes up Ichigo Kurosaki. It's a major, major moment for the character. Of course, we've been seeing this moment in the opening for the last 12 weeks, basically. Leading up, everything has been leading up to this. There he is. Personification of his powers, kind of all rolled into one in many ways. Yeah, awesome. Just like that, shocking Uryu'S, Ichigo knows the truth. Right before him is an Asauchi that embodies, of course, the powers of a Shinigami, but bearing a Hollow's mask. It's really good stuff, and I do just hope that we get to see the Sternritter. Of course, this is the last time we will hear this opening, maybe forever. I don't know if we know if they're changing the opening for the next season or not. I kind of hope they do. I'd love to get a new opening each time, but I will say I have absolutely loved this one. Maybe it is recency bias, but I think it's fantastic. Really, really fantastic. I think it's stylish. I love the colours. There's, of course, the meeting of the two of them like we just saw. I'm really hoping we do get to see the Sternritter again, even if it's just briefly at the end of this one. I don't think we will get quite far enough to meet Askin, which is a bit of a shame. I am dying to see that character brought to life, but we might have to wait until season 2, I think. But there's a chance. There is a chance. It'll be this week. One thing I am very excited for is there should be big things for Komamura in this episode. Like, just really awesome character developments. Really, just a great subplot. Once again, this anime continues to look mind-bogglingly beautiful. You know, just week in, week out. And I can't believe we've done these now for 12 weeks or something like that, but every single week I've been able to say, pretty much without hesitation, that it looks incredible. Just really, really an impressive endeavour. I think they've done an amazing job. So, of course, basically what we have here is the captains who lost their bankai, minus Byakuya, because he's in a really bad way. That was a cool transition. I'm actually kind of surprised they're including this moment. They removed Isshin's bankai teases last week, but they are keeping in Hisagi's. There's Mashiro. I do wonder if she will actually show up more often than this, because this is the only time you see her in the original source material. That was a really cool way of bringing her mask out. But I would love to see her again after this, so here's hoping. But yeah, basically what I was saying is this is, of course, the Shinigami preparing for war. The second invasion is probably coming soon, and they need to be ready. That's just one of the many beatings that Hisagi takes in this arc. Also, that's really cool and nostalgic hearing a Vizard talking with their kind of distorted, hollow-fied voice. You just don't really get it that much anymore. You know, Ichigo doesn't use his hollow mask anymore. Half the Vizards don't use their hollow masks anymore. But yeah, so this is all the captains who lost their bankai, kind of training, kind of preparing, along with other Shinigami as well. A lot of different plot threads kind of happening here at once. Akon! Hell yeah. So this is another cool moment. I actually wonder how much we will see with this moment. By the way, if you haven't checked out my 12th Division overview analysis, all that sort of thing, it was released pretty recently, so check that out if you haven't had a chance to yet. The 12th Division's always a fun one. And Akon is a character who just gets better and better in this arc, basically. He just gets more and more to do. He has so much to do in the 1000-Year Blood War. He's almost a totally different character in many ways, but I absolutely love that he is spying on Mayuri of all characters. Of all characters, Mayuri doesn't know that Akon is spying on him. That's crazy. And it just shows you that they are not on the same level, but Akon is an absolutely worthy protege. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Okay, well, immediately, we get way more there than we did in the original chapter. There, Mayuri says, I will use it to give birth to a new Ashisogi Jizo, which is not... That is not what we hear in the original chapter. In the original chapter, you basically have no idea what he's doing. But apparently there, he is modifying his bankai, which is not what I thought he was doing at all, but... I don't think anyone thought that. I think actually many of us thought he was probably working on, well, several deceased characters. I guess he could still be doing that, but I wasn't. That's not what I was expecting. I'm kind of surprised they gave us that. I do love that Omaida is lamenting not training, rather than just training. Here we go. Our poor old Iba got his one of his rare lines cut. I feel like that was kind of an abrupt transition into Seijin's storyline, but by removing that Iba scene, you don't even know that Seijin's gone walking into some cave. Seijin's elder has an awesome voice. So ancient sounding and so wise. I mean, just what an awesome character. I love Komamura anyway, as you know. And this was such a fantastic expansion of a character who so genuinely needed it. Who genuinely deserved it. And I think it was so awesome to get. I think the combination of his voice and just the size of him works really well. And it's just great because you get that real sense of grandiose superiority that this character has over Komamura. See, I love that world-weary wisdom of a character who has presumably been around for thousands of years. You know, the world won't change. Only the bearer of the world will change. So just whoever's in charge will change, but things won't change enough to bother us. I love that. That's so cool. And it's so mysterious, like, how much is going on with this clan, you know? It would be really awesome if we get to see some of this fight, because we don't in the original source material. Matt, the elder standing to his feet, that was kind of creepy, actually. Oh, I don't think we're seeing it, no. For a minute there, I thought that was like some really weird howl of Komamura's, but no, I don't think we're seeing it. We're moving kind of quickly, though. I have some hope that we might get to see the Sturmritter. I love the kind of rainbow lighting on the walls. I didn't expect that at all. Of course, Oetsu's forge is a pretty big deal in terms of the lore, in terms of the world building. But now, of course, we have one of the craziest Bleach moments of all time coming up, pretty much. So again, it'll be fascinating to see how they do this. The Sword Five. These characters are very strange. Basically never seen again, I think. They feel like a weird composite of other all-female groups in Bleach. I think that is badass, though. When Oetsu's like, you know, when I said everyone, that means you as well. That's just really cool that he just has such control over the Asauchi like that. This is not what I expected. It's a lot more... I mean, it's cool seeing the Sword Five actually, of course, utilize their abilities to build the forge. Basically, I'm guessing they are just 5 specially made Zanpakuto who are designed to run Oetsu's forge for him. Even though we never really find out anything about them, that has to be what it is. This one who presumably generates the water by crying just has a horrible life, perhaps. But the music and stuff is not really what I was expecting from this. But I guess it is kind of like a weird and funny moment. I like how this one's kind of creepy. I like how the small detail that all of her nails are like chipped. I'm getting some weird Dark Souls flashbacks with this flame and some guy hitting a blade over and over again. There you go, now he's calling him Goichi. That's cool, nice attention to detail, I like that. That's awesome. But yeah, here we go. This is going to be... I hope this is really good. That's a great shot of Ichigo. I mean, it's really cool seeing, obviously, where the story goes here, but it's also really cool seeing someone actually forge an Asauchi to be used by the main character. I think that's a really awesome development. Also, of course, that small tidbit there that, again, much like what Kisuke said about his Gigai in the last episode, it just seems to get swept under the rug very quickly. Oetsu kind of mentions that very, very calmly that he creates Asauchi in a similar manner to the way Aizen created White, which is layering numerous Shinigami souls. So, like, how does that work? You know, how are these characters getting away with such practices? Anyway, forget about that, because some crazy stuff's about to go down. Oh, okay, I love that it looks like I freaking love that it looks like the opening. I love that, because it's like everything has led to this moment since the very beginning, 12 weeks ago. I love that. Really cool. Come on, Ichigo, you know who he is, really. As much as you might not want to believe it. This is a difficult twist to pull off, I think. Yeah. Ooh, it's not really... That's weird. It's different to how I was expecting it to be handled. Obviously, it has to be different because the mediums are different, but in the original chapter, you get that impact of turning the page, and there's that massive image of Yhwach's face. Just overbearing, overpowering, taking up almost the entire page. And it's a kind of gasp moment. It's a crazy moment. Whereas here, they're taking it a bit slower, a bit more nuanced, a bit quieter, playing into, I guess, the extra time and space they have to use, which I think is interesting. Oh, look at that. They've kept his absolutely aghast face in. One of the best faces I think Kubo has ever drawn. I know that sounds weird, but it really is just a fantastic Ichigo face. Like, he just looks genuinely horrified. Like, he can't believe what he's seeing, what he's hearing. It's kind of throwing me off that it looks like the intro, but I think it's fantastic. Yep, and as soon as he says that, Ichigo's world just crumbles. That's cool. The total lack of any kind of music or sound. And now it's basically black and white. Wow, again, that's a cool design choice. Underwater, he sounds exactly like Yhwach. I love that. Like, exactly like him. I know they're the same voice actor, but did he always sound like that? Or am I just... I don't think he did. I'm pretty sure it's distorted because they're underwater. This is bleak. Fascinating way of adapting this. And like I said, it was never going to be easy, I don't think, this scene. Not only is it one of the biggest twists in the series, I ranked it as number 2 in the biggest Bleach twists of all time. So, I mean, it pretty much doesn't get any bigger than that apart from one more. It's just a difficult moment in general to capture because it's Ichigo's entire world, the world that we have known and followed up until now, being turned totally upside down. So yeah, up until now, Zangetsu had suppressed everything. I do think there's something genuinely beautiful about this. It's haunting, it does feel like a betrayal, but once again, they are taking, honestly, daring artistic creative licenses with this, actually making this black and white and then the blue flame sword. I mean, that's awesome. It's being presented as a more sad moment than a shocking moment, and I think it works well. That sun, that like light rippling above the surface, it can't quite break through. It's like there is hope, but right now Ichigo can't sense it. I mean, this is crazy stuff. You know, look on Ichigo's face. Of course, that sun is perhaps as well emblematic of Ichigo's true power, still just out of reach, obscured by the ripples of the water. And now Zangetsu symbolically disappearing in front of that light source and allowing Ichigo to finally take hold of his true strength. Damn, man, that's crazy. They're playing number one when he gets his... Okay. Again, I didn't expect that, but it does make a lot of sense. I like it. It's cool. Yep, that's neat. Oh, man. I mean, like, seeing all this play out like this again just really makes me hope that Ichigo gets a little bit more to do in the rest of this arc. Because this was all done so well. And then it just felt like Kubo could never find a chance for him to actually use that power. Until literally the very end of the story. So I'm hoping there is a bit more to it. I'm hoping Ichigo gets a bit more to do. We're closing in, I would assume, on the end here. I'm not really sure. But I mean, this is now 542. Which is The Blade Is Me. Oh, man. This is all great stuff, but if we get to see Askin, I will be over the moon. I'm not sure we will, though. But, I mean, I think this is the end, right? These are the credits. I like... This is really cool. It's weird. It's really interesting. Of course, Ichigo, there you go, reaching for that light. Breaking out. He is complete. So, the episode may actually end... There's no way this episode is not ending without one of those reveals about a certain character. Okay, I freaking love Oetsu shouting over the top of that. I think that added a lot to that. That was really cool. I'm not sure how I feel about the credits being over the top of it. I kind of would just like to see it without anything else on it, but there it is. There it is. There he is. Look at that. I mean, playing number one, it's pretty perfect. That's awesome. That's so cool. There you go. That's the end. Look at that. That's great. His journey is effectively complete. It's totally complete. It's done. This is the apex of Ichigo's development. I love that. The small blade burning away into the blue light of Quincy power. The big blade burning away into the red light of his hollow and Shinigami power. This is Ichigo Kurosaki, everyone. Our main hero. He understands that the blade is me. It's a great ending. That's exactly as it appears in the chapter. Okay, so they're going to do 537. Okay, so I was wrong. I was wrong. It's here. But I knew they would end it with one of these reveals, but whatever. I love how this looks, man. The Quincy Palace is so awesome. There he is. Oh, no. My son. Awesome. So freaking good. It's a bit of a shame that Uryu is wearing his cloak, because in the original chapter he has his cloak off, and you can see how badass his own uniform looks. I mean, you know, how else are you going to end that episode, though? Yeah, that was awesome. That was good. I think that was genuinely pretty emotional at the end there, actually. I'm almost kind of speechless. Like, I don't really know what to say. I kind of feel like I have to... I don't know, like I have to actually go away and think about it for a little bit. But yeah, I think it was brilliant. I think it was really, really good. Really, really good. Again, they had a lot to cover, but I think the episode was genuinely beautiful in points, especially at the end. I think the Uryu reveal was pretty well done, even though I'm a little surprised. I'm not surprised because I knew they would end the season with an Uryu reveal. I'm just kind of surprised they moved it from 537, because now presumably the second season is going to start with the Sternritter in chapter 543, which means we'll move straight from that reveal into another Uryu reveal. unless they change things around, which they might do. But yeah, that's it for the live reactions for this first season of Bleach the 1000-Year Blood War Arc anime. I just want to say, first of all, thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey as we have reacted to every single episode of the 1000-Year Blood War Arc so far. I have really enjoyed it. I've had a fantastic time sharing the experience of watching this and experiencing it with each and every one of you. I've had an absolutely fantastic time, and I really do appreciate the support, both with the live reactions and the reviews. Of course, once this goes live, up next will be an in-depth review, a comprehensive review, episode 12, then 13, and then at some point, maybe not straight after, but at some point, a comprehensive full review of that first season. But wow, that was emotional. That was a bit of a roller coaster. I think Ichigo getting his true ZANPAKUTO was handled really, really well. Really, I'm not sure how I feel about the credits being over the top of it. Like, I kind of would have liked to have seen it unobscured. Maybe there's a way to do that at some point. But other than that, I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, really, really loved it. But that's it for the video, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of episode 13, The Blade Is Me. How do you feel about where the season ended? I mean, it's basically where everyone thought it would end anyway. But I think they did do a really great job. Alright guys, make sure to hit subscribe if you haven't done already. I want to say a massive shout out and a huge thank you to each and every one of my Patreon supporters as well. I really do appreciate all of your support. And yeah, again, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, and I hope you also have a fantastic New Year, though I'll probably see you before then. But until next time, guys, I'll catch you later. And I'll see you then.